Good evening, everybody. We just got back from Avengers Endgame. Maybe we went to Denny's first. That's not important. We have some quick thoughts for you ahead of a real video, if you will, a little bit later on, where we'll do the whole spoiler part. This one's spoiler-free. Rest assured. So we're going to talk a little bit about the movie. I guess what we expected versus what we got.
Yeah, we could do that.
Well, here's a good place to start out. And I mean, a couple other people have covered this in article form, but just so you know, if you have to take a pee break during the movie, there's 3 places you could do that. One is where you see the New Jersey title card. One is where you see the San Francisco title card for locations. And the other one is when the Hulk eats lunch.
And that's all we'll say about that.
Any of those segments, there's about a 10 to 15 minute gap after that where it's like, there's stuff that happens, but it's not anything that you couldn't miss, really. So
pee quick. Or just don't drink anything so you don't have to pee.
So I'm trying to think about what kind of things we can talk about that, obviously aren't spoiler. I think it's reasonable to assume that everyone knows that Ant-Man's coming back.
Well, yeah, but I was going to say, how about we start with what we expected?
All right, go ahead.
All right, well, I kind of expected big battle, just like nonstop action, and surprisingly, I don't think that's what we got.
I mean, kind of, sort of. I mean, not in the beginning.
No, that's what I mean. I thought it was going to be nonstop action from the beginning all the way to the end, and it's not really what we got. But I'm not complaining. What did you expect?
There's something a little bit demure about the first hour or so. Kind of like, it almost feels like we went through a mini saga all on its own because of, the situation.
But I feel like there were a few mini sagas that happened in just one big epic showdown.
I will say this. I thought it was weird that the last little teaser drop that they did made me worried. And it turns out I didn't have to worry about it. It was just something weird that they did. I feel like that last teaser they did for Endgame was A, unnecessary. Everyone was already going to go see it. And B, just gave me random anxiety about how the movie was going to progress. Because it's like, oh, please don't do that.
That's why I try not to... I do try to watch some trailers, but there are times where trailers could actually make me unhyped for something.
Especially since the Russo brothers apparently think that it's great to just put random shit in the trailer that will never actually be in the movie.
Nobody knows how to do trailers anymore.
It's like, I realize that some people are like, oh, that's cool because I want to be surprised. They're bad at making trailers if they can't still make you surprised with using actual movie footage. All right, they've been doing this all over the place. It's like Rogue One did it, and now everyone's allowed to do it or something. I mean, they did do it. They did the same thing actually in Black Panther. Yeah, I forgot about that.
That being said, what did you expect coming in?
I got about what I expected from the movie.
Okay, so what you actually got is what you expected.
Yeah. There's a warm-up phase, and then we get into, the meat of it, and then there's, most of the action is concentrated toward the end.
Definitely.
So that's what you should go in expecting. You can eat most of your popcorn and drink your drink at the beginning and get your pee breaks out of the way. For the love of God, don't go to the bathroom in the last hour. The last hour is key.
Yeah,
last
hour, everything's crucial. There's nothing that for 10 minutes you can't skip. It's not worth it.
Oh, how do I approach this?
I was gonna say, what problems do we have without?
I got pretty angry. Once the movie was over, I was a little angry.
Why?
For reasons that I can't articulate in this video.
I guess for the spoiler
you already kind of made a comparison though that could work. It is a little Lord of the Rings-ish.
Yeah, it is. We won't elaborate too much further on that, but it does. It feels like 2 disjointed movies if you think about it. The first half is very aftermath, and the second half is very Lord of the Rings.
I just meant the whole thing as a whole. I mean, now they're calling the whole series like the Infinity Saga, presumably in preparation for the the new series of movies, which incidentally confirmed there is not an end credit scene, not mid, not end. There is a little bit of a something. There is a something at the end of the credits if you're interested in waiting for it, but it's not anything major.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah, it's nothing major. It's nothing groundbreaking, and at best, the significance of it is not established at all. It does not appear to have any impact on anything going forward. So just so you're aware of that.
In fact, it kind
It's
of
it's not even visual.
It kind of felt like Marvel has been conditioning us to sit through the entire credits just for the biggest Marvel movie in the last decade doesn't give us the end credits. So it's kind of like, why have you been conditioning us to do it, and then we don't get anything in the biggest movie you have?
It did. I mean, like, I completely understand why they skipped it. That's fine. It's just that since apparently now Spider-Man Far From Home is a real movie.
Well, I mean,
that's not a spoiler. It's a real movie.
Yeah, it's a real movie. It's also the end of Phase 3. This is not the end of Phase 3. Spider-Man Far From Home is the end of Phase 3.
I mean, but I guess that's a matter of perspective. I don't know.
No. That's how
Marvel
has it. That's how Marvel has it. So maybe.
Well,
we
look,
should
I didn't see it
something.
I didn't see it included in the Infinity Saga collection. Okay.
That being said, is there anything else that you can divulge that you didn't like? Because I have a hard time trying to pick out stuff that I didn't like. There are some particular holes left behind in the plot, wrinkles that I can't
Wrinkles. Anyway.
Wrinkles that I can't discuss that I didn't find appealing, but we can't discuss that in this one.
It just seemed like a really weird oversight. I mean,
several weird oversights.
Listen, if you get to the end and you're over, Big Lebowski and Shrek, maybe you'll pick out what I'm thinking of. But we'll talk more about that probably this weekend. Other things, I think Captain Marvel got an appropriate amount of exposure in the movie, given everything else.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure how they were going to deal with her in the end game, so to speak. But no, I think she got an appropriate presence there. Let me think here. There's this interesting, but I want to say like it was cool, but also I was like, oh wow, this feels weirdly coordinated. There's this interesting girl power moment that I was kind of like fond of, but then I was also thinking about it like, okay.
Well, okay, for me, as the female of the group here that watched it, I actually really liked it because it gave one particular character that girl moment that I didn't get in her movie.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just saying
I finally felt it. It was finally there. And then you add everybody else on top of it. It was amazing.
Yeah, but that's my point. It's like, I mean, they didn't even use an intercom or something. What the heck's going on?
It was perfectly coordinated.
That's exactly the problem. Anyway.
I liked it. So shut up.
You know what? Here's a good question. Did you like this one more than Avengers 3?
More than Avengers Infinity War? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, that's really kind of a crucial question.
I definitely liked Endgame better than Infinity War.
Really?
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I definitely like.
Like, I'm wrestling with the subject now because I'm like.
Let me explain to you why. While I went into Infinity War getting exactly what I expected. A little bit of funny, but a lot of crying at the end. This one, I kind of expected more action and less emotion, and it left me on this emotional roller coaster from beginning to end with things that I didn't expect. And there were times, I swear I was holding Streak's hand so... I was clenching his poor hand. I actually had to ask him if he was okay after the movie. Because I was so enthralled. I was at the edge of my seat in a lot of these times where I wasn't in Infinity War. I didn't feel the same... My level of excitement and anxiety and fun in this movie was just over the top. it didn't capture that same Infinity Wars. And I think that was the point. You kind of, after Infinity War, you have to top that. You have to top it. So while Infinity War still remains number 2 on my major Marvel list, Endgame is now number 1.
I still feel, and I don't know. Maybe part of it is, I mean, necessarily, of course, but it's like, since maybe it was because part of it was dedicated to the warm-up. Maybe it's because, I don't know. You know, I'll say this much. It's not that there were a couple things, like, right towards the beginning, I probably annoyed Streak because I was just like, oh, I see what's going to happen there, and I only vocalized it once. There were some things that they like, oh, narrative, oh, that's probably going to happen like this. Oh, that's going to happen. Without going too much into it. But, I don't know. I feel like...
So you felt like you could predict it from the beginning?
Not the whole thing, obviously, but there are things that made sense, and so I wasn't greatly surprised by any of the major things that happened. Like, the moment that the first inkling of that potentiality was there, I was like, haha, that's gonna happen. I guess to a certain... I guess part of me... I don't know if it's the potential disconcordance in what you called the wrinkles. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's the warm-up phase or something maybe it just didn't feel like the resolution for our villain went the way that I would have preferred. Maybe there's something in there. I don't know, there's a couple just things that didn't line up for me as much. I understand that Endgame is the conclusion of a very major accomplishment in terms of cinematic history.
Yeah.
But that almost certainly part of the problem for me is I already had that knitted semi-conclusion in the form of Infinity War. And to me, Infinity War, I think, was a better movie. So, that's just me.
I think, see, a lot of, I only read one review, so this isn't me saying all the critics, but I know some critics have been really disliking the slow start, as they say. I actually enjoyed that part. Probably more than most other people are going to enjoy it. So I know my enjoyment of that first half of the movie is very subjective. I'm not looking at it objectively. I enjoyed that part of the movie, with the part that everyone thinks is slow and everything, and I didn't expect it to be so good for me.
I figured out one of the reasons why I didn't like it as much.
Why?
Just now. So, that's not a spoiler. So, during the warm-up phase, we're getting a lot more time with with some of the characters, mm-hmm. which is really cool. But you know who didn't show up in the movie? Our favorite security contractor.
Well, I mean...
Like at all.
I have speculations on it that I cannot talk about here. So, I think I know why he didn't show up.
I'm disappointed.
I don't know. What did you think about the Stan Lee cameo? This is his last one.
I thought it was a pretty good choice. Gave him a chance to shine in a rather unusual way when compared to all the other ones he's done.
I really like this one. It was very sweet, and I really liked I won't spoil it, but I really liked all of it, the visual, everything. I don't think this is my favorite one out of all of his, but it definitely is really nice. Touching send-off.
I don't think there's a whole lot more we can talk about without giving away too much of the movie. Mm-mm. So, this is where we'll leave you. There will be a more in-depth and spoiler-riddled version for us to actually discuss the contents of the movie in depth, which you are free to join us at, and you should watch the movie before then. Go out, see it, then
definitely go watch it. It is completely worth your time. You need to watch this movie if you're going to watch any movie this year.
And next week, Detective Pikachu.
That ought to be interesting.
All right. Signing off here, Mr. Panda.
And Rockstar.
Manly Battleships thanks you for watching. Watch. Subscribe.
Like, subscribe.
Comment.
Comment.
Yay.
Woo!
Bye.
Bye-bye.